Shalom. It's Kanai from GMS Gary, Indiana. First, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Karkodash. All right, double honors to our elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and blessings to those of you teaching the gospel throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom. We'll start off here in Proverbs 13, verse 2. It says, excuse me. It says, a man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the transgressor shall eat violence. All right, the fruit of your mouth, man. Hey, what you let go forth out of your mouth, man. You know, what you say can be bad or it can be good, you know? It says, but the soul of the transgressors shall eat violence. And because transgressors will make bad things to come up out of their mouth, man. They will say bad things, you know? They'll say destructive things. Things that anger people, man, you know? And that, you know, hey, you say something that makes somebody mad, that makes them want to fight with you and argue with you, man. And, you know, one thing leads to another. You're arguing with this person, and then arguing leads into somebody throwing a fist, and you're in a brawl, man, you know? Verse 3, it says, Proverbs 13:3. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life. All right, yeah, because like one thing leads to another, and another person is on the pavement laying dead, man. You know, you say something, they get mad. You know, there's an argument, fighting. Then fighting leads to death. You know. Read it over. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life. But he that openeth wide his lips shall have destruction. All right, they can't hold back their tongue from saying something. You know, and that one thing that they said, man, can end their life. You know, like some people say, hey, words don't hurt them, man. Well, then why they got to get all so upset about it and worked up about it if it doesn't hurt them? All right, why do they got to start throwing fists with somebody or getting up in people's faces? You know, why they got to choose to end somebody's life over it if it doesn't hurt them? You know, hey, words hurt. And words can pierce the soul, man. Like it says in Hebrews 4:12, man. Hey, people don't like to hear the truth, man, you know? Hey, because people are walking around in darkness, man. You know, hey, they want to stay in darkness, man. They don't like the light to be shine upon their deeds, man, because their deeds are evil. All right, they don't want to look at themselves in that light, you know? All right, let's go here. Yeah, I'll go to Proverbs 21, verse 23. All right, Proverbs 21:23, it says, whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles. See? All right, whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles. All right? All right, so like, you know, like if you would just, you know, learn to be quiet in a situation, man, hey, you'll live to see another day, man. You know? All right, let's go. Yeah, let's go to James 3 and verse 2. All right, this is James 3, verse 2. It says, "For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, if he offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, and able also to bridle the whole body." All right, because he has self-control over himself, man. You know? And you could tell, who that perfect man is because he's in a situation where many people would lose it. Hey, you see this man is composed still, man. You know? He's keeping his composure and not letting things get to him. You know? It says, "Behold, we put bits in the horse's mouth that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. Beside also the ships, which they be so great, and are driven of fierce winds, yet are they turned about with a small helm, whithersoever the governor listeth. Even so the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth." Yeah, so you're gonna be in over your head, man. Just because you couldn't keep, your tongue under control. You know what I'm saying? You said something little out your mouth, man, but it brings about a whole big situation, man. It's gonna make things bigger than what they ought to be, man. And now you're in a, hey, you're in a load of trouble, man. Verse 6, it says, "The tongue is a fire, all right, a world of iniquity. So the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell." All right, so all this, you're gonna go through all this pain and suffering, man, just because, what I'm saying, you couldn't keep quiet, man. All right, you just had to speak and say something, rude or disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And then and now, you're in a situation where, hey, you have an enemy, man, that's seeking to kill you, man. you know? Or you just, hey, you're making things bad on yourself, man. Hey, you're putting, a target on your back, man. Whether it be, you cause the man to be angry at you, or you cause the Lord to be angry at you, man. Hey, because if the Lord's angry with you, man, you won't make it into the kingdom of heaven. And two, you'll be, the Lord is going to destroy you, man, because you wouldn't get right. All right, let's go. Yeah, here we go. This is Sirach 28 verse 12, it says, if thou blow the spark, it shall burn. If thou spit upon it, it shall be quenched. And both these come out of thy mouth. All right, so if, like it says, if thou blow the spark, it shall burn. So you can either, further escalate a situation, and have things turn out bad. Or, if like it says right here, continuing on, it says, if thou spit upon it, it shall be quenched. All right, so on the flip side, if you spit upon it, it shall be quenched. All right, so you could either, cause the situation to be worse, but if you, spit upon it, you can diffuse the situation, man, and not have to deal with trouble, man. It says, and both these come out of thy mouth, man. So you can either bring trouble to a situation or you can bring peace. You can have peace. Why not have peace? Just be quiet and have peace, man. All right. One more. We're gonna go to Matthew 12. And we'll start at 34. All right, this is Matthew 12:34. It says, O generation of vipers, how can ye, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. All right, so it's whatever you have in your mind, man. Hey, that's what you're going to end up saying out of your mouth. All right, a good man out of the good treasure of the heart bringeth forth good things. All right. And on the flip, continuing on, and an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth evil things. All right, so it's what you have stored inside of you, man. All right, what's in your mind? What's on your mind to be, man? Hey, that's why we say transformation, begins on the inside out. All right, it says, but I say unto you that every idle word that man shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. See? Hey, so it's very important that we be careful about, how we speak, and how we treat others, So I hope this was an edifying lesson. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Karkodash. Shalom.